Good morning, students. We have started the class and methods in the last class, and we are discussing inheritance. So we'll be continuing with that. I hope this is visible comfortably. So inheritance is basically reusing. Okay, it's a method of reusing the concepts of previous class, various elements, functions, data members, etc. of some previous class. So it basically depicts the heredity, okay, hereditary concept of organisms. So a child always inherits some characteristics of its parents, like height, skin color, hair color, then iris color, then shape of the face, etc. So these kind of things are inherited by the child from its parents, and it will go generation by generation. So this is basically what? This is the reusability of some characteristics, of some features. So this is being implemented in programming also. You have already studied C++, Java, etc., and all these concepts there, and the same is being now studied in Python. So we'll be having parent class, child class concept, and we'll be using some of the characteristics or features of the parent class. That is the inheritance. So there will be three different inheritance in Python: single, multi-level, and multiple. So we have started with single inheritance. I am repeating once again this one. So in single inheritance, one class will inherit the properties of one class only. The child class will inherit the properties of the parent class only. Only one parent class, not more than that. Okay. So this is a parent class, that class operation. We have two values A and B. Then we have addition function here. Then we are adding, as you have discussed earlier, that you must have to send one parameter which is self or me, anything that will represent the current object, okay, to any method, that is class method or member function of a class. You need to pass at least one parameter, and if you have multiple parameters, this will be the first parameter always, which basically represents the current object. So here self word is being used. So self.a is representing this one, self.b is representing this one. Whenever this add function will be called by using some object of this class, the object will be sent automatically as a parameter to the method, that is add. So self.a means value a of that particular, that is data member a of that particular method, then data member b of that particular method. So this is the summation. So this is a child class. this child class is inheriting from its parent class operations. Okay, that means A, B, and the method add is now accessible to class my class. So operations class is being inherited by the my class. Since the my class is inheriting only one class, this is called single inheritance. So my class may be having some members, data members itself. Like these are own data members. C equal to 50, D equal to 10. This C and D, these two are own data member of my class. Here it has own member function sub. We are again showing the self to represent the current object. So subtraction is being performed here, and you do the uh, you print the result. And here we are calling my class. We are basically creating one object OB which is of this class. Okay, so creation of object is performed in Python like this. This will look like one function. So object name will be here in the left hand side of the equal sign, then the my class, the name of the class, and the set of parentheses. Now object, as it is a child class of operations class, so now it can call directly the function add. Add is a method of the operations class, and subtract is a method of the my class. So these two methods are accessible to any object of my class. So this is probable output given here. Let me to decrease the size a bit so that it would be visible to all of you. Are you getting the concept? Okay, then let us go to the next part, that is multi-level inheritance. Okay, in multi-level inheritance, one or more class act as a base class. So it will work in different levels. That is why it is called as multi-level inheritance. That means inheritance reusability will be performed in different levels. For example, your parents are inheriting some features of your grandparents. Okay, your grandfather and grandmother. Then you are inheriting some of the features of your parents, your father and mother. So this is multi-level. So some features are inherited from grandparent to parent, and some features are inherited from parent to child. So different levels are there. So it is called multi-level. And remember, there is no limit on this number of levels. So this is what that it means. The second class will inherit the properties of the first class, and the third class will inherit the properties of the second class. So this is the same concept with grandparent, parent, and child. Okay, now look at this program. This is just an example program. There is no such you can say direct inheritance. There is no logical flow with this. It can be shown differently also in or in a single program also. But just to make you understand the concept, the functions, the methods has been arranged in different classes. So first class is addition. It is having two members A and B. One method add, no parameter except the string representing the current object. So it is added here, values are being added here. Then sum of A and B, just print one message and print the same, print the sum. Next is class subtraction. In class subtraction, it is representing the addition. Okay. Now in this class, this particular subtraction class is having only the sub function, that is method, sub method, that is subtraction method. So this subtraction method is now inheriting from addition. You can see here. Okay. As it is publicly inheriting these values A and B, so now A and B will be available to this particular class, that is subtraction. So now subtraction is performing the operation here, that is subtraction, then printing the subtracted value, the result. Okay. Then we have another one class, that is multiplication. So in this class, we are having, it is inheriting subtraction method, sorry, subtraction class. Then one method is there, that is multiplication method, that is MUL. So there is one variable multi, so it is performing this one multiplication. Now look at here, this A and B is not member of this multiplication class. It is member of class addition. A and B, these values are member of class addition. How it is getting? It is inheriting subtraction. So via the subtraction class, it is getting the values here. So addition is having value A and B, that is data members. From this data member, these data members are inherited to subtraction class, and from subtraction, the same is inherited by the multiplication class. So this is the level 1, this is level 2, this is level 3. So A and B is available to multiplication class, so it has done the multiplication and the result is being printed. Now since multiplication class is inheriting subtraction, subtraction is inheriting addition, and all of these are publicly inherited because default is public only. So we are getting all the methods available to, all the methods you see here, all the methods are available to an object of multiplication class. Okay, so object OB is an object of the multiplication class. Since the multiplication class is inheriting addition, subtraction, subtraction is inheriting addition. So all these add, sub, and mul, these three functions are available to this object. So look at here once again. Look at the program once again. And let me know if you are not getting anything. Is there any question?
No, sir.
Okay, so let us move to the next part. Now this is multiple inheritance. So multiple means you are inheriting from two different classes at the same time. Okay, in multi-level you were inheriting one class at a time, but in different levels. But in this case, you will be inheriting more than one class at a time. So class which inherits the properties of multiple classes is called multiple inheritance. This is the definition. The same class once again. We have class addition as we have discussed earlier. This is all about your addition class. This is all about your subtraction class. Remember one thing. Now the subtraction class is not inheriting your addition class. Okay. Addition class is having the data members A and B. Subtraction class is having data members C and D. Both of them are having their own data members. So member function is this one, add and sub. So these two are now totally independent classes. You see, there is no relation in between these two classes. They are having own data members, they are having own member functions. So let us mark it by some colors. These two are two independent classes. They are having own data members, they are having own member functions. Now look at the multiplication class. So this multiplication class is defined in this way, that it is inheriting from two different classes. First is addition, then is subtraction. This particular class is inheriting two different classes, addition and subtraction. And if you have more than these two classes you want to inherit, you can just put here by separating commas. Okay? By using comma, you can use more number of classes for inheriting. As of now, we have two classes, it is inheriting from two classes. Now, as per the rule of inheritance, since it is public, all the members are public, so this will be available. All these data members and member function of addition, as well as data member and member function of subtraction, will be available to multiplication class. So it can do anything with this. So let us see what it is doing. Like, it has only one member function method. It is performing multiplication self.a into self.c. That means A and C. Look at here. A is taking from the addition class. B is taken, C is taken from the subtraction class. Remember, A is taken from the addition class, C is taken from the subtraction class. So it is taking two different data members from two different independent classes. How is it possible? Because these two classes are being publicly inherited. These are inherited by multiplication class, and all of these are public members. So multiplication is performed here. Self A, self dot C. A is from addition class, C is from subtraction, from two different classes, because it is available to multiplication class. Both these data members are available to multiplication class. But remember, A is not available to subtraction class. Again, this C is not available to addition class, because these two are independent classes. There is no relation, no inheritance, nothing with these two classes. So this is performed and being printed here. Now it is taking one object from the multiplication class, and this particular object of the multiplication class can call the method add, which is of addition class, call the method sub, which is of subtraction class, and obviously it can call the method mul from the multiplication self method. This basically. So this addition is using A and B of addition class. This subtraction is used, these are independent, C and D of subtraction class. And finally, MUL function is using A and C of addition as well as subtraction classes. So I hope it is understandable to all of you. Please look at once. And let me know if you are having any issue.
Sir,
Yes?
sir, in a class addition and subtraction, if we have the same function, that is, suppose add is there,
Hmm.
so then in the class multiplication, if we create an
Yes,
object of
yes, 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 yes.
multiplication and call by the object of a multiplication add, then there is a chance of a
Yes, yes,
confusion.
I'm getting. Yeah, I'm getting. Suppose you are having the same name function in all the classes, right? So addition is having the same name class function, as well as in subtraction also same name function is there. Yes, it will get confused. So first one will be called. Is it okay?
Yes.
Basically, anyone can be called. Okay. Basically, anyone can be called because they are having the same name. For example, some input function is there. Input function is there in addition also. Input function is there in subtraction also. And we are calling input function using the object of multiplication class. In that case, any one function can be called. See, because we are not putting any um, restriction here. Are you trying to get this?
Yes.
Okay. Hello. Bueno. Okay, so I hope it is clear to all of you. So we'll be discussing 2 more concepts in Python along with this. I'm not taking any class example here. So method overloading. What do you mean by method overloading? We have discussed this in maybe C++, Java, etc. That is, you are giving some extra work to the same method. Okay, like the same method can be used to add 2 numbers, or it can be used to add 3 numbers. So we are giving, in the next case, we are giving some extra load. That is, in place of adding 2 numbers, we are adding 3 numbers. Okay, I do not have the graphic tablet with me. Let me to try here one example. Suppose we are having add. Okay, so add A, comma B. So this function is, this particular method is adding the values of 2 numbers A and B. Now we can add this one in a different version of this add function, that we can add A, comma B and C. Now in case of these 2 functions, name of the function is same, but task is different. One is adding 2 values, another is adding 3 values. So while working with this kind of methods, what the system will do? It will just check the positional parameters. How many parameters are there? Parameters, if there are 2 parameters, that is A and B, the system will go to the definition of add function with 2 parameters. If it is getting 3 parameters A, B and C, it will jump to the definition of the function where 3 parameters are there. Okay, another one may be there, like I'm just giving these examples in terms of C++. Okay, integer, comma integer. So this is one function declaration. Suppose add integer. This is adding 2 values of integer type. Now it may add float also. Float, comma float. These functions are also different, because this is adding 2 integer values and this is adding 2 float values. So these are called function overloading. So we are using the same function name but for different purposes. Here we are adding for addition of 2 values, here addition of 3 values, here addition of 2 integer values, here addition of 2 float values. Now the concept is same in Python. So you are having this function product of 2 values, here product of 3 values. Product is multiplication. So multiplication will be performed for 2 values and it will be printed. Again multiplication of 3 will be performed, it will be printed. Okay. Now, the main issue with Python is that these two functions will not be active at a time. In C++ Java, you can create 5-10 functions with name product, different functions with name product, but all functions will be active at a time. Whenever you are calling the function, based on the number and type of argument, the correct function will be called and the job will be done. But in case of Python, only the latest version of the function will remain active. Others will be deactivated. So if you call this function product23, now it will give you some error message because this function is now not active because of this one. Because of the product ABC, there is a updated version of the product function which is taking 3 different arguments is active. That is why now only this will be performed. Okay, so basically we can say the method overloading is not supported in Python. If this is so, we can say method overloading is not supported in Python, because method overloading means you must have all the functions ready to work at any moment whenever you are executing the program based on the parameters. But in this case, only the latest version of the function is active. Rest will not work. So we can say method overloading is not supported in Python. You can have these functions for use in future. You have to make it as comment. Okay, method overriding. Now this is method overriding. So I hope this will answer your question. If a subclass method has the same name which is declared in the superclass method, then it is called method overriding. Okay, the achieve method overriding. Okay, look at here the example. We have two classes A and B. B is inheriting A. So we have a function say hi in A. We have another one function in B. These are basically methods. In case of classes, functions are called as method. So these two methods are there, the same method. Now, in this case, the same method is there in class B also, and we are creating an object from B. Okay, we are creating an object of B class. Now, whenever we are calling the say hi method using one object of the class B, the latest one, its own one will be called first. Its own one will be getting the preference. Okay, next is data hiding. Yes, why we need to go for data hiding? You see, in this case, A and B, C, D, these are all public data members. Okay? But as we have discussed in other object-oriented language, that data should be made private. Member should be made, member functions, methods. Member functions or methods should be made public. So data should be always private and member functions public. But in this case, all data are public only. So how will you make the data as private? That is data hiding. How will you perform data hiding in Python? So we need to use double underscore before the variable name. Then the interpreter will understand, the system will understand that this particular data is private. So you need one public member function, public method to make it use. So this is my class. There is a class, my class. It has one data member, that is underscore underscore. Remember, there will be two underscores. Okay, first, second. There will be two underscores, and the name of the variable. It is having 10. And we are just passing the value. We are just passing the value to add. Then some, it will be added with some value a, some arbitrary value or variable a, it will be added. Okay, so self dot num plus a, that a will be passed later on. Print sum, it's okay, fine. So this is the object being created of my class. So add 20, the method is being called here. So add 20, 20 will be copied to a. Okay, add function is taking this object ob as parameter. This is the self parameter, the current object. Then value 20 will be copied to a. So current value, with current value num, it is, that is current value of num is 10. We are adding 20. So output will be your 30. Now another one thing, like print ob, that is object dot underscore num. We are trying to print the value of num. Now this will be an error message because underscore num is a private data member. If you use this one, suppose you have another one value here, x equal to 9, x equal to 9, and if you try to print here, print x, sorry, ob, that is object dot x, it will not create any issue. It will not create any error. Because x is a public data member here. But underscore num in this case, since it is started with a double underscore characters, so it is now a private data member. So accessing the private member from outside of the class is not possible. Therefore, this will give you an error message. So this is your error message. It is saying that the no attribute, there is no attribute underscore name underscore num in my class. It is not visible. Please go through the concept once and let me know if you have any issue. Okay, is there any issue? I hope you have understood the concepts behind the class and objects of Python. So we have completed all the basic concepts and uh, background details of class and objects in Python. So we can move towards the exercises later. And here is the first exercise for you. So please note down these two problems, and practice it, and you can send me once it is completed. Is it copied?
Yes, sir.
Okay, done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, then let us conclude here for today. Please do the exercises and send to me by WhatsApp or by the Teams group. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.